What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mindset Movers. My name's Zach.
And I am Jonathan, also known as J-Wall, and today we have Stephen Johannsen. Is that right?
Absolutely.
We have Stephen Johannsen, and we're going to be talking about something pretty neat, and he's going to be diving into more of what it is, but we're going to be talking about why the word can't means I don't want to. So we're going to be diving into that, so let's get it kicked off. Stephen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name's Stephen Johannsen. I work here in the St. Louis area for Connections to Success. What we do is we help individuals realize their dreams and help them achieve economic independence by providing hope, resources, and a plan.
Awesome. That's awesome. Now, we like to team up with people who are offering value to people, especially right in our own community here in St. Louis, through different ways. Now, tell us a little bit about your background. How'd you get into what you're doing?
Ooh, into what I'm doing. Well, I got involved with Connections to Success in 2009 when I was strongly recommended by my parole officer because I was on the fence. I was kind of back and forth. You know, I was dealing dope. I was out committing a lot of crime. And my PO recommended this personal and professional development course that she believed would help keep me out of prison. And it goes into a lot more than that, but that's how I got involved with them.
So you started as somebody who was in the program to somebody that is now helping people in the program.
Absolutely. I was a participant. I was sitting on the other side of the table and working with my community, or working against my community, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of working for Connections to Success and spreading the word that we're a valuable resource here in the St. Louis area.
So what I want to know, why are you, what triggered you to do what you're doing now? Because you obviously got a passion for it. It shows clear as day. What gave you that passion, and how were you able to turn that around from going to being a participant into being an active recruiter for the program?
Yeah, well, like I said, Connections to Success is a lifelong engagement piece. It's not just like your traditional model that people have to where it's like 90 days, and you have 90 days to get your life together. You know, you got 90 days. Well, I don't know about you, but I know for myself, it took me a lot longer than 90 days to get myself together. And that was the great piece about Connections to Success, because it's lifelong engagement. Once you come through and do our personal and professional development course, you have access to all of the resources that an organization that has been established in the community for 19 years, this is actually our 20th year, for the rest of your life. So, say like myself, I came through in 2009, I messed up quite a few times in between there. I went to prison a couple of times or got locked up and made bad choices, and they didn't judge me. They picked right back up where we left off, and instead of hammering out why I went back or whatever, it was like, okay, Stephen, what do you want to do now? And that was huge. And I turned that opportunity, for that lifelong engagement piece. I had some really good strategies about how to get the word out in St. Louis, about how to let people that were in the situations like from reentry and substance abuse as a resource to come out, and I presented that in the way that Connections, through my personal and professional development course that I did with them, taught me how to do it, and I actually used what they taught me in my negotiations for my contract.
So I got a question for you. How are you any different than all these other places out there that claim to help recidivism on people going back to prison? How are you guys different? What's different?
That's a great question. How are we different? The main thing that we're different is that ours works.
Amen.
Ours works.
What about it? Why does it work? Like what do you do that's different? What do you think that one special sauce is?
Special sauce, that's a good word. We actually use that.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So what's your special sauce?
Our special sauce is the lifelong engagement piece. We're not doing anything for you. We're not doing anything for anybody. We're doing it with them. So whatever, we have no cookie cutter mold about the way that they need to do things or the way that you want to do. If I'm presented with 3 different choices and those are my 3 different choices and I don't like those, then how is that going to be effective? But what we do is when we put together the life plan, we want to know what you want to do, and then we get behind you and we support you in those decisions, and we pull the resources that we have and then make those challenges and those barriers actually fall apart and fall to the wayside. Everybody's paired with a life transformation coach, everybody's paired with a job developer, and everybody's paired with a mentor. it's a holistic approach. It's the entire model of more like a village. It takes a village to raise, a child. That's what it is. And I know we sound like this giant organization, but we're really just a bunch of scrappy people who really truly care and are devoted. We don't just do this 9 to 5. My personal cell phone is on my card. I do this day in and day out.
So let me ask a question, make sure I understand it. I just got out of prison or something. How do I even know that you exist?
Right, that's where I'm coming in. That's what I'm doing. I'm out there banging on the doors. I'm out there like at some of the local treatment centers. I go in and I speak to them because as they're transitioning.
It sounds like you're already at places though where people want help. Yeah. How do you reach those people that don't care? They're out and they're instantly back into it. What's your plan to reach those people?
Well, I mean, on a personal note, I do a lot of stuff on Facebook to get it out there because those are like the things that pop across people's path that they didn't even expect. They're just, sometimes that catches somebody's eye, like maybe my hat or something stupid that I say, and then they're like, well, what is this dude talking about? And it goes to that. But when it comes down to people that don't want help, they don't want help,
True.
But
Very true.
The bottom line is that I'll still be here when they do.
So the first stepping stone for somebody wanting to work with you guys is saying, I'm at a place I don't like and I want to be at a place I do like. Mm-hmm. And then you guys come in, you help determine what that place is.
The path.
Okay. Everybody's going to come up with this and they're going to say, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have this to do this. I don't have this. How do you counter that?
Well, one of the main things is that all of the services that we provide are free of charge. They will cost you something, though. They're going to cost you your time and your commitment. It's a 12-day course. It's not a really long course. We provide transportation in the St. Louis area, transportation assistance. That's huge. When I got out, I was living in St. Charles. There's no buses or any transportation in the St. Charles area. It's hard to get around. Mm-hmm. So for us to be able to overcome, again, that challenge, to get them to be able to come in and take that path, that's one of the things that we overcome.
Let's list challenges. Okay. You're coming out, you're trying to get a job. Okay. I have nothing to wear. I've been in prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
So how do you help?
Well, when it comes down to that, we have the partnerships in the community to help out with like our food pantry. They help out with clothing assistance. We also have a Dress for Success model, which is something that we provide interview appropriate clothing for them to go in and get the job. Not only do we help with the soft skills on how to move forward in that, but we want you to look the part too. And then once you get the job, we provide another suit, and that's male and female.
That's excellent. That's awesome. When we were talking earlier, that really caught my mind because I used to be a recruiter for a large company, and people would come in and they would say, hey, I've got some hiccups in my past. And believe it or not, that wasn't what caught me. It was the initial, almost like, okay, do you really care about this? And again, I was on the wrong side of the fence. I had my blinders on and assumed they came in here and clothes that weren't appropriate, that they're automatically not going to be a great candidate. That's how we are taught in the corporate world, and that's why I ditched the corporate world, to be honest. But we were taught that, and whenever you said, we'll help you to look the part that matches your skills,
Yeah.
I really enjoy that side of it.
Yeah, like myself, I'm tatted up, I'm sleeved up, I got tats on my arms, and buddy Zach.
Those are becoming more and more acceptable as time goes on. I hope
so. They really are.
Whenever I started at my corporate job, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but whenever I started there, tats on your hands were instant, no, you're disqualified. And it didn't matter what it was just an automatic no. But
what about a face tat? Hit it with a face tat, little teardrop?
That just shows you.
Blasted teardrops coming down.
But, no, like
it is becoming more accepted. It really is. However, if you don't have them yet, don't get them. Because there is still that stigma that goes with those. But if you have those, it's not the end of the world. Same thing as if you have a felony conviction. I've got a line of 8 of them. You know what I mean? So, instead of me believing the stigma that this is all I'm going to be and there's nothing more that you can do and I'm always going to be shoveling manure or working at fast food, not taking anything away from that kind of stuff. But, I believed for years that was all that I was going to be able to achieve. And we help people to understand their self-worth and what they can do.
It sounds like you had a similar mindset to when Zach originally. He had a story where he was working at a clothing store, getting ready to go work at a clothing store, doing really well. He ended up getting fired because of his past convictions after he was already there. And he had said something to the extent of, when you have a felony, you're serving a life sentence whether you like it or not, because there's always going to be those people that just can't look past it, or that maybe their company won't allow them to look past it or something. What's your advice to people that are in that mindset? Because obviously that's not the best mindset, to think that there's nothing out there for me because of these. Obviously, you're proof that there's something out there. You just got to look for it. What's your guidance to those people who are in that current mindset?
You talking about the people or the employers?
Let's start with the people. We're going to address the employers because we got plenty of those watching.
All right. Well, when it comes around to the people, don't believe the hype, man. Don't buy into it. You were successful. I tell people all the time, man, you were really successful with your drive and your determination, moving up from the bottom of the barrel. You started out as a low level. I break it down into, like I said, I talked to treatment centers, and I was a drug dealer. I break it down to them, man. You started off at the bottom of the barrel with nowhere to go and nowhere to look, and so you worked your way up to the best plug, the fire is dope, the best price, and you move that up. You can take that same drive and that same determination and focus that into something more positive in any aspect of what you want to do, because it's already in you. You've already done it. You just had to tweak it into a different direction.
Nice. I love that, man.
I want to. That is nice. So, obviously, we got a lot in common with going in prison and prior drug addiction and turning our lives around. And I always like to ask people that's done that, what was that desire? And necessarily people in the audience watching, some people haven't been to prison, but they might be in a prison up here. They might feel like they're stuck in a certain job, or they might be stuck in a certain mindset, or they might be stuck in a bad relationship, whatever prison that may be. What was it that got you out of that prison mindset?
Well, first of all, I never stopped fighting for the little guy. I'll never forget where I came from. Like I said, I was a gutter junkie at one point, and I ran a very successful drug ring, and I know everywhere in between. So I never forget where I came from. But I do say it's an old cliche that I heard years and years and years ago, and it took a long time to get back. My desire to change became stronger than my desire to stay the same.
Amen. Amen.
If I had $1 for every time I've heard that on that is such a powerful
money
thing. That is motivation, because we say this on a daily basis. Motivation is bullshit, and I hate to put that out there, because a lot of people are like, oh, I need to get motivated. If you think there's a point in your life where you're going to be like, I am ready to make that change, you are horribly mistaken. It doesn't exist.
No.
It's going to be a grinding, a whole bunch of friction to get to the person you want to be.
Yeah.
There's not a specific time that's like,
the stars.
I am now motivated. I am magically going to do it.
Yeah, the stars didn't align, and God didn't come down and touch me and say, oh, you're going to be the only one, and and everything was perfect. No, it actually came out of iron sharpens iron. It was during the friction points in my life to where I was like, you know what, if I just tweak a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I took little bitty steps to move forward, and I've got big plans, and I'm going to take small steps to get there.
What was that pivotal moment for Zach? He had his sister pass away, followed by going back and missing his son's birth, followed by just like all of that, all wrapped up in a ball that said, this cannot be the life for me anymore. Did you have a moment like that? A paradigm shift, I guess you could say?
I had a few of them. I guess the largest one was I was on the phone with my daughter from prison, and she was talking about a prior conversation that we had to where I had given her advice from a prison cell on a collect phone call, and she took that advice and implemented that into her life, and a positive change started happening because of that advice that I gave her. So that made me feel the self-worth, that I have impact, that I actually, even though I knew that my daughter looked at me for guidance, but it was that moment that I really realized that, hey, I can really help her, because her mother is an active addict, and I was in prison. And so when I seen that I could still have impact from prison, I said, man, I can really have a lot more impact on this life if I get out and don't come back.
That's incredible.
Shifted everything.
It did.
So what I like to dig on too, when that desire that got you going, the desire to change became stronger than my desire to stay the same. Mm-hmm. Now when you get out and you start hitting these road bumps, because we're all going to hit them, no matter if you're ex-convict or if you're a career corporate worker, whatever role that you play in life, you're going to have obstacles. Life throws curveballs all the time. Mm-hmm. what is it that keeps you going every day?
I will say that a lot of the things that keep me going is actually my job at Connections. You know, seeing people come that I've seen in like the treatment center, you know, that they're at the bottom, you know, they're at their rock bottom looking for somewhere to go. And I remember being there. And I remember there not being a community support resource there for when I got out and I was all ready to take on life. And for me to know that I identified that, put myself in that position, and I'm having impact. And I can see these people when they've got the glow back, man. You know, something as small as like a job and getting hope. But when I see that light bulb go off in their head that they realized that life can be worth living again, man, dude, that's phenomenal to me, man. That makes me, it gets me out of bed.
It's fulfillment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody talks about money and stuff, you know, and yeah, I do get paid for what I do, you know, I do. And but the things that I take home and the lessons that I'm learning and being able to give back to the community that I took from for so long, that's what keeps me going. And
to clear that up, I like to push that shit aside when people say, "Oh, you're getting paid to help them, that's why you're doing it." No, the world is revolved around money. If you don't have money, you don't eat. You can't provide for your family, and you're going to have a shitty life. Yeah. So that's to the side, and it's impact over income, and that's clearly shows you get that fulfillment by helping people. There's nothing wrong. That's a noble cause that you're doing it for. I appreciate that. You know, yeah, when it comes down to like, you know, Maslow's hierarchy, you know, if the people don't have food, clothing, shelter, love, and the things like that, then they can't concentrate on how to actually effectively improve their life. You know, so those are the things that we make sure that at Connection Success that we can, you know, challenges and barriers that we can try to take care of so they can concentrate on their life and how to improve it.
So here in a minute, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your quote that you came in here with. Go ahead and say it again. What is it?
What? The can't means don't want to?
Can't means don't want to.
Oh, man. When my daughter would tell me can't, I mean, can't means don't want to, and they hated hearing that. But.
Well, we're going to be back in just a minute. See ya. Welcome back to Mindset Movers. We are here with Stephen Johannsen, and we're right before the break. We were just talking about his awesome quote that the second he said it, I fell in love with it. Can't means you don't want to. So we're gonna hop into that real quick, and this is gonna be the juicy part of this segment.
Ooh, the juice. Is it gonna be moist?
Moist. Oh man, I can't say that word. Okay, so tell me, somebody says can't to you. I can't do that. Tell me your internal response and then what you physically tell.
Oh, my internal response is I cringe, you know, and you know I hear, you know, my words is I hear liar, you know, or I do, man. When I say I can't do something, man, I know I'm lying, you know. I know that I mean there's physical limitations to certain things, but yeah, man. Whenever I get it in the mindset of can't, you know, I'm like, man, Stephen, be honest with yourself. You just don't want to. And so that's what helps me.
So how's that apply to the people you help? Because you kind of taken that step over the threshold where you're no longer just on this side looking for people to be a resource for you or to try to get you in the right mindset, but now you are the voice of the resource.
Yeah.
So for the people out there that are saying I can't do this, I can't do that, have a word with them.
Yeah, man. When somebody tells me that they can't do something, I try to shift them to get out of that language, out of that barrier about how that is, man. Because can't means don't want to. When you honestly tell yourself that or you tell somebody else that you can't do something, you're really honestly giving up before you've even tried. You're creating hurdles and roadblocks of your own, not to mention the ones that are real that are going on. Now you're creating barriers of the mind by saying that you can't achieve something.
So boom. So borderline, you say can't, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
we'll sum it up.
I mean,
no excuses.
Yeah.
There are no excuses out there, and I fall into that trap before. I've said can't way too many times. I've heard Zach say can't.
Oh, stop it.
On an hourly basis.
Exaggeration.
But seriously, I see it all the times out there, and you saying that gives me a new mindset, and I think I'm going to start cringing whenever I hear people say can't. I've always had that same mindset, can you not really do that? I mean, you're capable. I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, oh God, I can't do that. Your desire to do it is lower than your desire to not do it.
Amen.
You know,
so where can people find you if they want to check you out more further on social media? Where's a good place to check you out at?
Ooh, if we're talking this social media, man, social media, the Facebook, man, has really caught fire since July 2nd, 2016. I got released from prison on May 13th, Friday the 13th, 2016, and somewhere around July, I kept hearing people like, man, Stephen, you know, you're really different, man. You've really changed. And I made a Facebook Live. It was when Facebook Live first started. I did a video about it, and somewhere it just kind of caught fire. And I've got several thousand people on this page that I have. It's just Stephen Johannsen. I have a
PH.
Yeah, with
Stephen
a PH. Yeah, and then I have a it's at Solo Comeback. That's where I do videos. We're going to be doing some more. Yeah, maybe there's a link. And then of course I have my personal timeline, which is Stephen Allen Johannsen, and that's where you can catch me, man. That's what I do. I work for Connections to Success here in the St. Louis area. That's where you can catch me make an impact on my community, though, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We have a lot of online marketers that view this on a regular basis, and if you guys want to get tips on how to better present yourself online on social media, be sure to check out Stephen Johannsen Facebook Live posts. This guy is a genius, and the reason why he's so genius at doing it is because he's being himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I also want to say, if you're in the St. Louis area, and two aspects of it, man. If you're in the St. Louis area and you say that you're out helping your community, I want to help you do your job better. I want to assist you any way that I can. And if you're just a person looking for somewhere to go and somewhere to start, you know, you got these big plans, but you don't know how to start them, you can contact us at Connections to Success. The phone number is 636-940-8027, or you can send me a message on Facebook, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen, it's been awesome having you in today on Mindset Movers. On Mindset Movers, again, we pick the people who have the ability, who have seen it, been there, done that, and have taken the step over and can help you move your mind. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I am Jonathan.
I'm Zach.
I'm Stephen.
Peace. And we will catch you next time.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Oh, yeah.